Nigeria will be divided into two, the north and the south. This is the agreement that the US Congress has agreed that is what they are going to propose to Donald Trump. And that is the best option in Nigeria now, to divide Nigeria into two. And according to them, the north will be Muslim country, the south will be Christian country. They went on to say that Christians and Muslims living in one country has never worked, and they don't think it's going to work in Nigeria. And when I saw this news, I laughed. I say, from frying pan to fire. Hold on, I will explain to you, because there's a lot of things involved in this that most of us don't know. I'm very sure most of us might have seen this news that, oh, Nigeria will be divided into two. But most of us don't know what comes after it. I'm going to explain to you. Please do well to subscribe to this channel if this is your first time coming across my video on my channel, because on this channel, I get information of everything that is happening in Nigeria. Now, the first point I'm going to make to you now is that, do you know that dividing Nigeria into two is a prophecy that was prophesied by late Colonel Muammar Gaddafi? Most of you don't know. Yes, Gaddafi of Libya, the former president of Libya, he has said that Nigeria will be divided into two for bloodshed to stop in Nigeria. I'm going to play it for you here so that you see it, because on this channel, we don't do cho-cho-cho, we show facts. Now, before I go into that, I want to read for you just a very short clip of what the US Congress said about dividing Nigeria into two. This is the US Congress, and this is the statement they made. It says, let me zoom it so you can see it clearly. US Congress to propose the breaking up Nigeria to President Trump. It went on to say, we will provide options for President Trump on Nigeria this January 2026, US Congressman Rep. Willie Moore said. Breaking up Nigeria will be one of the options to create a safe zone for Christians. Hold on. Half Muslims, half Christians have never worked and will never work. Did you hear that? Islam in Nigeria will not accept equality. Christians will continue to be subjugated. Listen to this. Islam in Nigeria will not accept equality, and so therefore Christians will continue to be what? To be subjugated. That half Christians, half Muslims never worked and will never work. So for them, they believe that the best way to solve or to bring peace in Nigeria is to divide Nigeria into two, the north and the south. The north being a Muslim country, the south being a Christian country. Now, I told you earlier that this is a prophecy of Muammar Gaddafi. I'm going to read that news for you now. I was going through some documents just a few weeks ago. I never knew this day will come when I'll bring up this topic. I was going through a document just a few weeks ago when I came across this news I'm about to show you by Colonel Gaddafi, where he said that there is too much bloodshed in Nigeria, and for that bloodshed to stop, that Nigeria need to divide into two. And what is that two he mentioned? Christian country and Muslim country. Let me read it for you. Please stay with me. Now, let's go to the next page. It says, right? This is Gaddafi, of course. For those of you that know him, he's a great man in Africa, even though he was unalived by the Europeans, because they saw that this man is going to make Africa great. That is my own analysis. Now, let's read what he said about Nigeria. As you can see, he says, divide Nigeria in two, says Muammar Gaddafi. Did you hear that? Let's see what he said preceding that. Nigeria should be divided into two nations to avoid further bloodshed. between Muslims and Christians, Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi has said. Conflict between who? Muslims and Christians. So no be today this conflict started. No be today this conflict between Muslims and Christians. No be today e start for Nigeria. Okay, let's see. In a speech to students, he praised the example of India and Pakistan, where he said that partition saved many lives. Partition is separation, that once people begin to agitate for a separate nation, that if they separate, that it will save lives. Otherwise, people will continue to die. And that is what we see happening in Nigeria. Let's see what happens. They say, splitting Nigeria would stop the bloodshed and burning of places of worship. State news agency Jena quoted him as saying, a senior Nigerian diplomat said he was not taking the suggestion seriously. Nigerian diplomat said they are not taking his words seriously, and he doesn't know what he was talking about. In fact, in one of these documents I was reading, another diplomat said that after Gaddafi made this speech, another diplomat said that Gaddafi is mad for making this statement, saying that Nigeria should split into two. I read that. Now, let's see what happens. Hundreds of people have died in communal violence in villages around the central Nigeria city of Jos this year. That year, okay? The BBC Rena Jawad in Tripoli says Colonel Gaddafi's suggestion is unsurprising given his past form. Last year, he called for Switzerland to be abolished and for its land to be divided between Italy, Germany, and France. Now, let's see. It went on to say, let's just read this part. It said, although the violence in Nigeria generally takes place between Muslim and Christian communities, the underlying causes are a complex mix of political, social, and economic grievances. Nigeria is roughly split between its largely Muslim north and a Christian-dominated south. Muslim north and Christian south. So, Gaddafi has earlier said to stop bloodshed in Nigeria, divide Nigeria into two. But then, you ask yourself, today, of course, we know when Gaddafi was alive and when he made this speech. Probably it was when the Igbos and the Yorubas are in peace. I don't know, I couldn't remember the year he made this speech. But Nigeria of today, do you think dividing it into two, the north and the south, do you think that it will still be peaceful? Now, let me show you this picture. This is what many people are actually, anticipating in Nigeria, how it should be divided. The Arewa, Savannah is the middle belt, Oduduwa, the southwest, and Biafra, the southeast. But then they said they want to divide into two. Let's see that picture again. Into two. Now, in these two, the north, let me zoom it so that you too can see it. All right. In the north, look at Lagos is part of north. Do you think it will work? And in the south, even Kaduna, Bauchi, Gombe, Borno, they are also part of south. Now I ask you again, do you think that these people can stay together? These people are also part of north. I think Borno, Kaduna, yes, they are part of north. So from this drawing, from this picture, I still don't think it's going to work. And so, best option left for me is to say that Nigeria should be divided into 5. Arewa, Oduduwa, Middle Belt, Savannah, Niger Delta, let them have their own, because I'm very sure that if you put them into Biafra, very soon they will begin to act. There are so many mad people there. So please, what is your opinion about this? I'm going to leave the comment section free so that you drop your opinion about this. What do you think? Do you think that Nigeria should be divided into two or divided into five? Make your own suggestion. But now, let me allow you to listen to this analysis they made about this, please.
Sarah, don't you think it's better Nigeria split into two, the north and the south first? Because the Yorubas and Igbos have been living peacefully for the past how many decades as far as Nigeria is concerned. There is no crisis, there is no trouble between the two any group. But if Donald Trump said we should divide the country into two for now, would you agree with Donald Trump?
I think if Donald Trump suggests two, that's the north and south, it's not going to work. Ask me why. The Fulanis are like fish bone in the neck of the Hausas. And they are the one that run the regime, the government, every administration of the government of the north. I mean, state government there, they are all Fulanis. You don't have credible Hausa politicians right now. The Fulani will use it as, let me say, the Fulani will lord it over them because they will control them. No staunch Hausa politician currently, as I'm talking to you, apart from Kwankwaso. Is there any other Hausa man, original Hausa, that is a strong politician in the north? Except Kwankwaso, Mudi Cherif. Hausas are thinly populated in the north. The Fulanis are not up to 10 million. The Erufai himself is a Fulani man. So if you allow them, Fulani will still have upper hand in the north. Then when you talk about north and south, no, it can work. Fulani would like to be Arewa, Hausa would like to be United States of the Hausas. If you go to the mind of the Hausas, Hausas are tired of the Fulani hegemony. Fulani hegemony is they are in control of the politics in the north many years now. And in the south, Yoruba will be on their own, Igbo will be on their own. Let me just give you analysis of Yoruba and Igbos. We've been living in peace for many years. The Igbos are the one building the economy here. And the Yoruba man has never seen it as a point to hand over the leadership, political leadership of the Igbos to manage. Yoruba would like to be on the top. And you've seen what transpired during 2023 election. Obi won the election and the Southwestern hijacked it by bribing the INEC. We are not going to stay with the Yorubas. We are okay staying on our own. Yoruba has everything it takes to build a strong nationhood. Mineral resources, it is here. I don't know what to understand. International water, you have a Papa Tinkan Island. All this will be generating money for Southwestern government. And the Igbos going back to Southeast, we have lots and lots to, build our own nationhood.
All right, Mr. Arab, if Nigeria are to be divided today, do you think Nigeria will not split into two or into three or into four? How many would Nigeria split into?
Okay, let me just give you the breakdown. Southeastern Nigeria has Biafra from the axis of Benue State down to Port Harcourt, Cross River State, Akwa Ibom State, Delta State, Bayelsa State. All these are with us. These states are coastal line, coastal states of Biafra. Then Yoruba, they are on their own. The states of Yorubas, they are okay. They have oil in Ondo State. There is oil off the coast of Lagos. Yeah, on the sea floor. They discovered oil. So Yoruba State is okay. They have what it takes to build a very strong nationhood of their own. I don't know what I understand. Yorubas are okay. Then when you talk about the north, the Hausas, they have rich, mineral endowment, resources in the north. Think about Sambisa Forest alone. Don't you know that they discovered much mineral resources in Sambisa Forest that warranted the Chinese, the bandits, some of the terrorists.
Are you suggesting Nigeria should be divided into three or into four? Because the South said the South that comprises of the Delta Rivers, Bayelsa, Akwa Ibom, and Cross River said, and Edo said they are not part of the Biafra. So are you going to force them now? Hold on with my question, Mr. Rab. They said they're not part of Biafra. So are you going to force them? And like I said before, the Yorubas are ready to support you. They're ready to be with the Igbos. And Donald Trump suggested that Nigeria to split into two, the north and the south, because the south dominates. Have majority of the Christian, while the north have majority of Muslims. So maybe that's the reason Donald Trump. Right, good morning, viewers. Once again, we're in the street of Lagos State to get people reaction in what is trending in what of politics and other related issues. Here with me is Mr. Matthew. Mr. Matthew, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Quick one, the U.S. Congressman Arimo said that it suggested to Donald Trump that Nigeria should be split into two, the northern and the southern part of Nigeria, for the sake of peace and for the avoidance of Christian genocide. Do you agree with the U.S. congressman that Nigeria should split into two for now? But it seems that the Biafran will not accept that Biafra should split into two. Rather, they want Biafra to split into four.
Once more, thank you for having me. I think this is an interesting development. Looking at the dynamics in Nigeria, do not forget that before now, we have been saying that if the North, particularly the Fulanis, are not ready to allow the federal government under the current administration of Senator Ahmed Bola Tinubu to address this insecurity, that is better the man Tinubu use his good office to allow people go their separate ways, particularly into to first. As you have it, this issue of insecurity refuses to go away. You can clearly see this information on your screen. It's not a speculation. The American Congressman Raleigh Moore, who is leading the alleged Christian genocide in Nigeria, has come out clearly to advise Donald Trump that if need be, we are pushing for a two-state solution in Nigeria. I must say that it is a welcome development. We are first and concerned, what it will do ultimately is to save life. Because I will tell you that as a people, we are tired of this killing. Look at what is happening currently, a situation where Katsina State is bent on releasing 70 terrorists who are in custody. And I want to say that if they think that because the terrorists were arrested in their states, and so they have the liberty to release them, that the terrorists you refuse to fight today will turn out to become a problem for everybody. Don't forget that recently we saw an attack on a police station in Owo, where a police station was burned down completely. If the terrorists were dealt with in the north, they would not have time of coming there to the southwest to start wreaking havoc. I'm going to tell you that for me, I've been saying it and I continue maintaining that there's nothing sacrosanct about Nigeria. There are some unifying factors naturally. Talking about language is a natural unifying factor. So by providence, God never created Nigeria as one. That is why you see outside God gave them their own distinct language. There are different people uniquely created by God. The Yorubas are differently created uniquely by God. The Igbos are different people by God. The same is applicable to every other minority ethnic groups in the country. However, it is not out of place to unanimously decide to come together under the same entity called Nigeria. But it's not working. If it's not working, there's nothing wrong in people charting their different paths to get their own different sovereignty. After all, like America, you have sovereign state of America is divided into different states, United States of America. I want to say that there's nothing wrong in if you can even divide Nigeria to the extent that you have United States of Nigeria, a situation where each of them are independent of each other to a large extent in terms of how you manage your resources, in terms of how you manage your security. And I want to believe that that is why America is excelling. Because what we have currently is a situation where the North, particularly the Fulanis, are living at the expense of the South. The anchor, let me tell you, look at what is happening with solid mineral currently. A situation where the issue of rare earths, the issue of solid mineral, it has been alleged that these foreign nationals use bandits to create space for themselves, cut away our solid mineral at the expense of the general ports of Nigeria, whereas the crude is being used for the generality of the people. If crude is discovered in any part of South currently, before you know it, all the federal might, in terms of the army, the DSS, the police, they have covered up the area. But areas where they discover gold, rare earths, uranium, who is cordoning off? Who is mining it? Because I can categorically tell you that the government have not been able to tell us how much solid mineral is bringing to Nigerian table. So there are 1,001 reasons why Nigeria should look at either dividing the country or through federalism. But to answer your question directly, I must say that the position of Raleigh Moore, that Nigeria, they will advise the United States of America President Donald Trump to see to whether Nigeria can be divided into two. I must say it's a work of development.
It's not only Raleigh Moore that suggested this. We can understand that the the former president of Mali, the late president of Mali, suggested that Nigeria should be split into two, the northern part of Nigeria and the southern part of Nigeria. The northern part of Nigeria dominated by the Muslim, while the south part of Nigeria is dominated by the Christian. But do you think that this would be a lasting solution to the insecurity in Nigeria if peradventure Nigeria is divided into two.
I want to tell you that to a large extent is going to address the insecurity. The reasons are not far-fetched. Because we are talking about a situation where a country, you have the monopoly of coercive power being in the hand of the federal government. And as you have it, even as federal government under this current administration of Tinubu has decided to divulge some level of security power to the states, you can see states being reluctant, unwilling to embrace it. For instance, look at this federal government security-based, community-based policing system that comes with forest guard. To what extent are we seeing states like Katsina, Zamfara keen into it? Instead, they are hobnobbing with bandits, telling you that they want to go and free 70 bandits. So if you now divide the country, and they know that there is no federal government to cry to, and they know that they are the government the people are looking up to.
Also, if Nigeria should be disintegrated, where will you put the middle belt? Where are they going to fall in? Is it the northern part of Nigeria, be the southern part of Nigeria? When I say the middle belt, like Benue, Taraba, Nasarawa, FCT Abuja, Kogi, Kwara, where are they going to fall in? And Plateau.
I want to say that this is an evolving conversation that is subject to robust conversation, that it is not yet cast on stone, that it can be discussed. It is a suggestion, meaning the people from the middle belt can come up with their own proposal. And in the event that it is only two, it is dividing, certainly the people in the middle belt will be given an opportunity to decide and air their view. Do not forget that in the wake of this alleged Christian genocide in Nigeria, it is even Benue citizens, Nigerians from Benue part of the country, that even want America to raise the issue. So I want to tell you that if it comes to that level, it comes to that time, certainly they will be given the opportunity to decide where they want to be. If they want to belong to the southern part of the Nigeria or northern part of Nigeria. But I want to tell you that ultimately they want to belong to the side where their interests will be protected, particularly as it has to do with the security of life and property. Do not forget that the issue of insecurity as occasioned by Fulani militias as their first life and property of Nigerians that is more serious in places like Benue, Taraba, Plateau, and these are core middle betters part of the country. So I want to believe that if you come to that level, they will be given an opportunity to decide whether they want to be in the southern part of the country or in the northern part of the country. But ultimately, the conversation is a heady one. We want it to continue. Let us have Nigerians joining in that conversation. Let us have a robust conversation. I want to say that that suggestion from Radimo and from other well-meaning people around the world is a welcome development.
All right, Pastor Matthew, I don't know if the people from the southeastern part of Nigeria would buy this suggestion that suggested by Radimo that Nigeria should be disintegrated into two parts, because the people from the southeast are already taking their stand that they are Biafrans, they are not part of Nigeria. And I don't know if you believe that they will like to work with the Yorubas, because the southern part of Nigeria consists of the west, south, and the southeast. The Biafrans said they are part, that the people from the south are also their brothers. But people from the southwest, will they agree to join now with the people from the southeast and south to make sure they are in peace living together?
That's why I told you, Abrisho, that it is an evolving conversation, that every interest will be put into consideration. It is not an imposition a thing. Certainly, those from the southeast who have a divergent view, within opportunity, they'll be heard. Those from the southwest as well, who have a divergent view, will be heard. Even those from the northern part of the country, who probably have divergent view, will be heard. But ultimately, I want to say that the conversation is a heady one, that we want to see every interest speaking up. Let us see at the end of the day how it will crystallize.
All right, Mr. Matthew, before the eve of 2023 general election, one of the promises by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is for him to restructure Nigeria. Do you think President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in that strategy, that in that angle, that he's trying to restructure Nigeria? Because one of the reasons why people casted their vote for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that they believe that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to restructure Nigeria to the benefit of everybody. But as it stands now, such is not what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu promises, and Nigeria is we are yet to see the actual promises, the renewed hope that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu promised Nigeria. Could it be the reason why Ralimo also suggested this integration of Nigeria?
The way Nigeria is a very complex society, you can agree with me that even this is not the first time we have seen a president that did not look in the light of restructuring the country, because there's one thing is certain: when you are in no position, it's easier to say you want to restructure the country. But once you get into power, the enormous power that is associated with the office of the president, you wouldn't even want to let it divide again. You don't even want to divide power again, because once you are there, you are the one sitting on the power. You are the one exercising the power. I think that best explains that is the problem we're having. Because even if you have someone who is on the sideline seeking to govern Nigeria and promising to divide Nigeria, or even promising to restructure the country, by the time you get into power and you sit on the enormous power in the office of the president, once you are the one enjoying that power, you wouldn't want to divide it or go the way of restructure. Remember that Muhammadu Buhari in 2015, in 2019, I mean to say, refused to restructure, or rather refused to assent to amended constitution, particularly the Electoral Act, that deals with the mode of transfer of election results, that would have enhanced credibility in the electoral process. Because he was going to be on the ballot. It took him in the last part of his election, when he's not going to be on the ballot, talking about the 2023 election, before he assented to a bill that seeks to ensure that INEC do not have the overall power to determine the mode of transfer of election results. So what I'm trying to say in essence is, if someone is involved, the person will always want to protect the power that comes with that office. But as soon as the person is not in office, he always want to do things the right way. So I'm not surprised. Do not forget that even Ralimo at some point was emphatic that Tinubu is trying to protect his interests. The very reason he's not even showing a non-will power to fight the terrorism. Because he believed that those who sponsor terrorism, those who are in the who are proponents of the Fulanis, as they have to do with terrorism, that are powerful in the north. And you can see that playing out. Because in almost every area, the Fulanis, who have already gotten some relevant positions in society, almost all the chefs in the north are Fulanis, almost all the emirs are Fulanis, almost all the political positions in the north are Fulanis. I saw a video recently where someone was lamenting that even in Kanu State, out of the 44 local governments, that almost 40 is Fulanis. So they already have their way in places of authority. So anybody who is the president will always be wary of them. He's afraid of them. I think that best explains the kind of frustration the people find himself.
All right, Mr. Matthew, I think it's a very fine place to leave it. Thank you for speaking with us this morning.
Nigeria will be divided into two. They will not give you Biafra. Nigeria will be turned into two nations, the southern and the northern. Biafra will come by reason of revolt. Now, if you can make note, you can. 2026 in view. There will be too much fear on earth. There will be what? There will be too much fear on earth. That is number one. Number two, Nigeria may be turned into a two nations under one nation. Southern Nigeria, which is the Christian race, and northern Nigeria, which is the Muslim race. Now, on Tuesday, the United Kingdom officially declared Nigeria a Muslim state. I know you may not hear that. I said on Tuesday, the United Kingdom declared Nigeria publicly a Muslim state. That is a Muslim country. And I told us on Sunday, for those that were here on Sunday, I'm not giving you prophecy. I'm telling you what we have decided up there. That Netanyahu is coming to divide Nigeria. Then 2 days ago, that was on Wednesday. Okay, Wednesday it was yesterday. Netanyahu was in America and had a meeting with Trump on how they're coming to Nigeria. 2027 election may not be what the politicians are thinking, because Nigeria will be divided into two. They will not give you Biafra. Biafra will become by revolt. I hope you're right. Nigeria will be turned into two nations, the southern and the northern. There may not be a Biafra. That is, okay, let's give you Biafra. Biafra will come by reason of revolt. Okay, my help revolt. By the time they declare southern Nigeria, we may come back and declare Biafra, covering Delta, the whole south and southeast. That is how Biafra will come. They will not come and say Biafra, Oduduwa, Arewa, northern and southern Nigeria. I hope you wrote it down. They will not give us Biafra. America and Israel will not give us Biafra. They will give us southern Nigeria. Then Biafra will become by revolt. I hope you understood that grammar. Many things will appear in the sky that religious nations will tremble and submit to Saturn in the name of God. It will look so real as though you will see an angel walking in the cloud. It will be so real. But those things are electronic wave, current wave that will be projected. The elites of the earth know. They've already set the plan. So there will be signs in the sky this year. I don't know how they will project them, but you will see some signs in the sky. I'm talking to you now as my listeners and followers that when you see those things and people are panicking, just mind your business. Know that it's not from God. It's not from the elites. Know it. They will shoot some things into the atmosphere. It will go through the space and explode, then descend and form something that look like Jesus walking in the cloud. And it will be there for days. My only prayer is that may it turn the heart of men to look for him. Do you understand? So finally, give yourself to the service of the Almighty God, so you'll be saved from certain pestilence. There will be diseases. You see. There will be what? Disease that can kill in hours, in days. They will have divine immunity. If Ebola cannot harm us, if HIV cannot harm us, if COVID-20 or COVID whatever cannot harm us, this one will also come and pass.